Herkese iyi akşamlar. Esenyurtkaya Türkiye'den Gamze Karakuş ben. Bugün sizlere University of Dundee'ye dair merak ettiğiniz bütün sorular ve saygın üniversitemiz olan University of Dundee'ye dair bilgilendirme ile beraber bütün sorularınızı cevap vermek üzere Nick ve Stephen'la beraber olacağız. Şimdi kendileri de hazır ve bizleri bekliyorlar. Kendilerinin bağlanmasını bekliyoruz. Bağlandıklarında kendileri de hazırsa webinarımızı başlatıyor olacağız. Webinarımızın sonunda sorularınız olursa Nick ve Stephen cevaplamak üzere burada memnuniyetle de bilgi desteği veriyor olacaklar. Hi Nick, hi Stephen, welcome.
Hi.
Hi, thanks a lot for having us with you today. Really good to join you for this webinar.
Thank you very much. First of all, I would like to thank you on behalf of everyone for your participation in the webinar and the information you will share with us. If you are ready, we can start. Thank you.
Yes, please, let's go ahead. Good evening, everybody. My name's Stephen Land, and I'm a professor in the School of Life Sciences at the University of Dundee. What I'd like to do in the next 20 minutes is to talk about our undergraduate and postgraduate degrees in life sciences. And I'd be very interested to have a chat with you, perhaps online, using the chat to talk about what you can do with a degree in life sciences and what some of the other opportunities are that lie ahead for you at the University of Dundee. So firstly, why Dundee? You might be surprised to hear that Dundee is a home for innovation. So the invention of aspirin was discovered by somebody in the mid-1800s who worked at Dundee University. LCD technology that we're using to communicate with each other at the moment was invented and discovered at Dundee University. Radar, that is used nowadays for peaceful and military purposes to plot planes. I don't know if any of you have an app on your phone called Flight Radar 24. So you're familiar with what radar is, what it can do, and how it can allow you to plot air traffic. Some of the younger people watching today's webinar might be familiar with computer games such as Grand Theft Auto, which was developed by a consortium based in the city of Dundee. Stamps and automatic teller machines were also developed at Dundee, and we're very proud to say that we're home to a kind of jam that's called marmalade, which is a product from Dundee. So Dundee is front and center of innovation and has been for at least 2 centuries in Scotland. So let's talk about life sciences and why you might want to study with us. We're one of the UK's top 30 universities, and we're 4th in the UK for student experience. We're number 6 globally and 3rd in the UK in the International Student Barometer for the last time that we were entered into that survey, which was, I must admit, a little out of date now. It's back in 2018. The British government assesses the quality of teaching at universities and awards a bronze, silver, or gold standard for teaching. And you can see on the screen here that the quality of teaching at Dundee University is awarded a gold standard. So we're good at what we do when it comes to teaching. What about science and research? The School of Life Sciences is a top research institution, not only in the UK, but also around the world. Again, the UK government runs a survey of research productivity and output every 7 years, once in 2014 and again in 2021. And life sciences research at the University of Dundee was ranked top in the UK. That's ahead of Oxford, Cambridge, all of the London universities that you might be familiar with. So we are a leading institution for international life sciences research, and that's reflected in our teaching. A little bit more there about our expertise in research. So what about the curricula that we offer? We take this expertise in research and we apply it to our teaching. That's partly why we're so good at what we do. We have developed a curriculum that is flexible, that allows you to pursue your interests in the life sciences. And our curriculum is based around our current research expertise, which focuses greatly on the biomolecular sciences. So what we don't do in life sciences is so much in the way of animal biology, ecology, conservation, etc. But if you're more interested in biomedical sciences, drug discovery, pharmacology, neuroscience, molecular genetics, for example, and how these can be applied to precision medicine, a new and developing discipline, then Dundee is the right place for you to think about coming to study. So you'll be learning from world-class researchers in our labs that are equipped with modern, up-to-the-date technology and equipment. This slide shows you the structure of our undergraduate curriculum in the 3 blocks just on the left side. So the blue, the red, and the green block. We run a 4-year curriculum. It's possible and common for students applying from around the world, and Turkey as well, to join our curriculum at year 2. So you can think of year 1 as being a foundation program at undergraduate level. Year 2 is also a common entry point. If you join us at year 2, then you would study an undergraduate degree that would be 3 years long. So in years 1 and 2, you acquire core skills. You learn what it is to be a researcher. You understand the process of experimental design, how to conduct an experiment, evaluate your data, and so forth. In year 3, you focus on particular topics within our biological and biomedical curriculum, and I'll introduce you to what those topics are in a moment. In year 4, you spend half the year embedded in a research lab doing a specialist research project that focuses on your particular area of interest. Let's imagine, for example, that you're interested in neuroscience, and in particular, you want to understand a disease like Alzheimer's or how Parkinson's work. So you would be embedded in one of our research labs that studies the molecular biology, the molecular mechanisms of those diseases, and how to develop new drugs to treat those conditions. At the end of year 4, undergraduate students graduate with a Bachelor of Science honours degree in their chosen speciality. Now, at that time, many of them enter the workplace. Some, however, choose to stay on with us to study postgraduate programs at master's level. And in the School of Life Sciences, there are 3 master's level programs that I'm very happy to talk about later on in more detail. One is in a master's in biological data science. Another is biomedical and molecular sciences. And another is health and science communication. We'll come back to the makeup of those particular master's programs in a moment. Let's go back to the undergraduate curriculum and talk about the degree specialities that you can focus on. Our undergraduate degrees are based around our research expertise, particularly in biochemistry, biological chemistry and drug discovery, general degrees in biological sciences, or degrees in biological sciences that have a specialism in bioinformatics or molecular plant sciences or microbiology. in the biomedical sciences stream, you can focus on a general biomedical sciences degree, or on neuroscience, or on pharmacology. All of our degrees are accredited by a professional body in the United Kingdom that is recognized around the world, called the Royal Society of Biology. So because our degrees are accredited, you know you are earning a degree that is recognized around the world for its quality and the skills that it endows in our undergraduates. We also have an option for undergraduate students to spend the first 2 years with us studying at Dundee in our home program, and then halfway through the third year of study, they have the option to complete their undergraduate degree at the National University of Singapore. So we have partnered with the National University of Singapore. And those degree options cover the molecular, biological, and biomedical sciences. I'll talk a little bit more about that later on in the presentation. A little bit more detail about what students study at undergraduate level when they join us at levels 1 and 2. So all degree programs have a common curriculum at level 1 and 2, with an integrated program of lectures, tutorials, practical work, and field excursions. And the important thing to emphasize with the practical work is that we are training you in the process of experimental design. We are building you to become the next generation of scientists. We're giving you the skills that you need to become a future scientist. In our biological sciences degrees, at level 3, you go on to focus on the molecular structure and interactions of biomolecules, proteins, RNA, and DNA. You look at the fundamental processes in molecular and cell biology. You'll study biochemistry and cell biology, genetics, the nature of the genome, evolution of genetic markers, and how to map the genome. Gene regulation and expression, you'll understand how drugs work. And for students with an interest in plant biology, which is very much a developing frontier of the biological sciences, you'll understand how we can bioengineer crops for the future. At level 3 in the biological stream, this gives you an idea of the types of modules that a student might take. I want to draw your attention to 2 courses over on the right-hand side, Practical Project A and B. These are very unusual at undergraduate level because they aim to recreate a modern working biological research lab environment. So alongside your other studies at level 3, you will have an open lab where you can go in, conduct an experiment. There are staff around who can assist you with the process of conducting that experiment. And at the end of the course, you write up your results as a full research article. During the process, you're assigned to a research member of staff who oversees and supervises your project. So this gives you a real life world feeling for what it's like to be in a real working research lab. And the biomedical sciences program, this focuses on human health and disease. So you understand the structure and normal function of the human body and the effects of disease and the ways to prevent disease. You'll study anatomy in relation to health, disease, and human identification. So there can be a forensic element in the courses that we teach. And you'll study physiology from the molecular level to the whole organism, specifically human physiology. You look at how the brain and nervous system function in health and disease and understand how the new age of drugs work. So the degree pathways that we offer in biomedical sciences covers biomedical sciences, BSc Honours, neuroscience, or pharmacology. This gives you an idea of the biomedical stream structure at level 3, the pre-honours year, and shows you some of the courses that you would be likely to take there. When all students get to level 4, they enter our honours programme. This is the final year of study. The first semester involves an 11-week research project that's based in the lab in one of our world-class researchers, either in the School of Life Sciences or within our School of Medicine. There's also a regular program of seminars that are given by guest speakers. So here you're engaging in real-world, cutting-edge research, and it's not unusual for our level 4 honours students to publish or contribute to a publication in the science literature. The final semester of the undergraduate year focuses on a range of specialist modules covering neuroscience, the molecular origins of metabolic disease, cardiovascular disease, and also bioinformatics, parasitology, and drug discovery. At the end of level 4, you graduate with a BSc honours degree in life sciences. I see somebody's asked a question there, whether it's possible to practice as a lawyer, and we might come back to questions towards the end of this presentation, but this is probably a good point, a good time to point out that our graduates go on to do many and widespread things. One of them being training in patent law, for example. So if you're involved in doing research, you're involved in the process of inventing things. And in order to protect inventions or intellectual property, then our researchers go through a patenting process that protects some of the discoveries that they've made. And that can be the foundation for entrepreneurship, for building businesses that are based on some of their discoveries. So it's certainly true that some of our graduates go on to train in law and then use this life science experience to enter the world of patent law. I'll come back to further questions towards the end.
Sorry, Stefan. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Just a small break. At the end of presentation, maybe I can read all questions. Then I can request you to reply all questions. Is it possible for you?
That's absolutely possible. Yes.
Okay.
No problem at all.
Thank you.
This slide reminds you of our joint undergraduate degree program with the National University of Singapore. So with students with a suitable background, suitable academic background, it's possible to spend the first 5 semesters studying with us in Dundee and then complete your degree at the National University of Singapore. So you graduate with a degree from both high, top quality universities. A short word about our postgraduate programs. These are master's degree and PhD degrees in life sciences. So in the School of Life Sciences, we offer opportunities to study a master's by research, which is a 12-month-long research project. At the end of that research project, students write up a thesis, a large document, a dissertation, and that is examined by a panel of academics. After that, you get your degree. Often it's a route to studying for a PhD, and we recognize that in Dundee. So we've adjusted the Masters by Research approach so that within the first 9 months of study, for students who are showing a particular aptitude for research, we give them the option of transferring from Masters by Research onto our PhD program. If anybody's interested to find out more about that, I would urge you to go onto the Studying With Us section in the School of Life Sciences website. Then we have 3 taught postgraduate programs. One is a master's in biomedical and molecular sciences. And you'll notice that this can be combined with business, management, marketing, or entrepreneurship. So we recognize that students often have an interest in research, but they want to also build some sort of business element into their life sciences understanding. So our MSc in Biomedical and Molecular Sciences offers students an opportunity to build business pathways into their program. That master's program is a 1-year, 3-semester program. The first 2 semesters involve taking 6 credit-bearing taught modules, with the last semester being built around a research project that is run in our School of Life Sciences. Then we have a master's in biological data science. Biological data science is a new and emerging area for employment. And the reason that we introduced this master's program is because we recognize that big data and having the skills to handle large data sets, for example, requires extensive understanding in data science. So within this program, for example, we will teach you how to program within Python. We'll teach you statistical skills using the program R. I'm sure some of you are familiar with these programs already. And then we'll apply them to bioinformatic platforms that allow you to enter and explore and expand your understanding of biological data science. Again, it has the same structure. This is a 1-year-long program with 3 semesters. First 2 semesters, you build skills through taught courses, with the last semester being a research project. Finally, we have a master's program in health and science communication. This has been introduced because in the modern world, particularly the post-COVID world, you can understand that it's challenging to communicate the complexities of science to the public and to the media at large. It's easy for things to be misunderstood or for information to be skewed or interpreted in the wrong way. So the study of health and science communication program has been developed in combination with a company called Amiculum, which is an organization that specializes in science communication. It has offices around the world, including in Dubai, Singapore, in Dundee, Boston. There may actually be an office also in Istanbul. Perhaps you can check that if you're interested. And the idea behind this program is to train the next generation of science communicators who will work with science communication companies and who can take, for example, complex information from, let's say, a big data study and communicate that to stakeholders in the public. So that's our postgraduate programs. As is often the case with universities, we offer opportunities for students to study abroad, perhaps for a semester and around the world. Probably the toughest question to answer is, what do our graduates go on to do if they've done our undergraduate programs or our postgraduate programs? And the truth is that they are highly employable. They go on to do almost everything and everything. One of the strengths of our programs is that you learn skills that can be translated into almost any walk of life. We're teaching you how to learn how to evaluate information, how to analyze data, how to communicate information. And when you put those skills together, you are very employable for a wide range of potential future employers. So this gives you an example of jobs undertaken by some of our recent graduates. Some have gone into clinical trial management. I won't read all of these out, but you might notice that not all of these jobs are about, becoming a future science researcher. Many of them are about coordinating projects, managing projects, for example, analyzing things, developing software, and so on and so forth. Some of our recent graduates have been employed by the companies shown on the right-hand side, and you'll notice that some of those companies are actually financial organizations in the UK, such as Lloyds Banking Group, Scottish Widows. And again, that ability to evaluate data, be numeric, deal with numbers, is an attractive prospect for potential employers. So I'll bring the presentation to a close just now, but the message that I would like to put out to you is that our undergraduate degrees in life sciences come from a top quality institution and one of the world leading research institutions in the life sciences. So if you're involved and interested in research, we're certainly an organization, we're certainly a university that you should consider studying at when you think about making applications. But the second thing I want you to think about is life sciences degrees don't just mean a future in the life sciences. They can mean a future in almost any walk of life where an ability to evaluate information, analyze, and communicate information is important going forward. So I'll stop my presentation there and I'll hand back to Gamze, and perhaps in the rest of the time that we have, we can deal with some of the questions that you may have put in the chat. So thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Stephen, for your presentation. It was very clear and very useful for all of us. Now, I will check the questions and read for you, then all of us listen your answers, please. Can I practice as a lawyer in the UK after completing a master's degree in LLM?
Just to step in on there to answer that question, yes, it is possible, but there is additional examination that would need to be taken. It does depend on the position they're looking to go to in law. So many different areas they can go into within law, but if they're looking to become a solicitor, then they will need to take the solicitor's qualifying examination, the SQE. So that's if they want to practice law in England and Wales. There's also a separate law system in Scotland as well. So it depends on where they want to practice law. It also depends on the visa status as well. So obviously they have the 2 years graduate visa upon leaving the university. But if looking to stay beyond that, then they would need to find an employer that sponsor them for an employment.
Thank you, Nick. And second question is, I completed my undergraduate education in business administration, but I want to do a master's degree in psychology. Is it possible?
Yeah, so we do have a 1 year's master's in psychology, which is a conversion master's. So it doesn't matter what the bachelor's is in, so they can come straight on to do the 1 year's master's in psychology. So if they want any further information, obviously they can reach out to yourselves at SIUK. We'd be happy to connect them with a professor within our Department of Psychology. But yes, certainly possible. And we still are accepting applications for this coming September.
Thank you. Third question is, I have a Bachelor of Science in Psychology and I am in my third year. can I open a clinic after completing my MSc in clinical psychology in UK?
So we don't actually offer clinical psychology, so I'm not too sure about that route. Steve, do you know any more about that subject than me?
Yes. So the question is, can I open a clinic after completing my MSc in clinical psychology? I think that would depend very much on the accreditation of your MSc in clinical psychology. Here in the UK, psychological services require a medical qualification or training in counselling. So I think the honest answer is that it would probably be rather unlikely that you'd be allowed to open a clinic unless you had a medical qualification and accreditation behind you.
Thank you. Fourth question is, I am in the 11th year of high school and I want to study medicine. May I have your suggestions for getting accepted for the medicine program?
Yeah, Steve, do you want to answer that one or do you want me to?
Actually, if you do have the updated entry requirements.
Yeah, sure. So in terms of the academic requirement, it depends on the curriculum. So for example, A levels, we ask for AAA. So I think if within certain diplomas, we can accept for entry that's around 85%, I believe. So high level of chemistry plus biology or physics. The UCAT has become more and more important. So a very good UCAT score is essential. So the minimum score we have asked for in the past couple of years has been around 2,650. It does fluctuate each year. But just to stress that a UCAT has become more important. So the deadline is the 15th of October for students looking to start September the following year. And we only accept applications through UCAS. So we do interview in person, even though we still ask for personal statements. It's the interview where we're really looking to find out more about the desire to become a doctor, confidence in dealing with a range of different people, and testing on a number of different areas within the mini interview stages. So the interview has become more and more important. And one piece of advice always to say is to try to speak to current medical students who's been successful in the application process. That's always very useful to try to find the best way to go on to become a medical student in the UK.
Sorry. I am planning a postgraduate education. Does your university also guarantee accommodation?
Yes, we do. Yeah, we have university on site or very close to the campus. So this is guaranteed to students that accept the place by a certain date. It is for single occupancy. So it's one bedroom, ensuite shower, sharing with a kitchen with other students. Many of our postgraduates would quite often live off campus. It's still a very short walk to the main city centre campus. But with a lot of people coming with their dependents, their families, quite often they look for family accommodation close to the campus because quite often that is a bit more affordable. I should say that Dundee is one of the most affordable cities in the UK. It's around 20% less than the UK average.
Thank you. Next question is it possible to have an internship option during the holidays while studying at your university?
It is possible, but it's not guaranteed. So we have a very supportive career service. So my suggestion would be the students that do come to us, reach out to the career service and they can support you in finding that internship. So many students do this, whether that's in Dundee, somewhere else in the UK or back in their home country. So it's not guaranteed, but there's plenty of support from the career service that can help students get that internship.
I can probably add something as well, Nick. For those of you who are interested in life sciences, the School of Life Sciences runs a summer vacation internship program. It's international and it's competitive. So students would apply for that in the January or February of the summer before the internship is due to run. It's subject to interview. For successful candidates, they are given a stipend of about £1,200 to undertake a 10-week internship in one of our research labs. So there are opportunities that are like that across the university, certainly in life sciences. We see that as one of our flagship international training opportunities. So you wouldn't have to actually be a member or a student studying at Dundee University to apply for that. Okay, back to you, Gamze.
Thank you. May I know your scholarship opportunities for international students? Are scholarships given every year for undergraduate education, or is it only the first year?
Yeah, so we do have some very generous scholarships at the university. The main option is Global Excellence Scholarship. So for students looking to do a master's, if they have a high GPA in their bachelor's, they can get a £6,000 tuition fee reduction. If they're looking to do an undergraduate degree, and they could get, again, a scholarship of £6,000 each year of study. We're just looking at having good grades in the diploma. So that's 3 Bs at A level, or the equivalent in the Turkish diploma, which I think is around 75 to 80%. I have to double check. But we are very generous in terms of the scholarships we offer. We also have a global citizen scholarship. So if they haven't got quite those high grades, they can tell us about the non-academic achievements, such as volunteer work, work in the community. And again, they can get a scholarship. That one's for £5,000, not £6,000.
And again, Nick, if I can just add a little more from life sciences, on top of those scholarships that Nick has mentioned, there is an additional £2,000 scholarship for students undertaking undergraduate studies in life sciences. So you can combine that, for example, with either a Global Excellence Scholarship or the Global Challenge Scholarship.
Thank you. Is a work placement option possible in your master's program?
So it's for some courses we do have an option for an internship. It's very difficult in the UK because it's a 12 months master's typically. So it's very difficult to fit in that placement. For some courses we have what's called pagoda projects, where students can do 8-week placements as part of the course.
Thank you. I am a third-year undergraduate student, and the language of instruction is 100% English. Do you accept the language requirement in this way, or does your university have its own language test?
Unfortunately, we wouldn't be able to accept the English language based on where the students have studied the bachelor's. So we can accept typically IELTS or TOEFL or Pearson's. Students who have done GCSE English, we can also accept that qualification. Unfortunately, we can't accept MOI based on where they've studied.
Thank you. Next question is, does your university have a fast-track degree program? Is it possible for your university to complete the 4th-year undergraduate education process in a shorter time for successful students?
So students can go on to year 2 entry of a 4-year degree, depending on the curriculum. So if they've done A-levels or the IB diploma, they can go into year 2 entry, but if not, they would go into year 1 entry of the 4-year degree.
Thank you. And last question is, I see that, can we also assist lecturers while studying for a master's degree at your university, or can we take on project-based assignments? I am also planning to do a PhD after master's education.
I think I'll hand that one over to you, Steve, if you don't mind.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
So master's and PhD students often assist in our practical sessions. So they can teach undergraduate students as we call them demonstrators, actually, or teaching assistants is another word for it, in our undergraduate practical sessions. It's not possible for master's or PhD students to actually deliver lectures. The reason being that we need to guarantee a standard of instruction to our undergraduate students. So if you're interested in education, I'm sure you would understand the need for that level of quality assurance. But as an educational institution, we're always very keen to encourage people to explore ways to communicate and build their understanding of education. So I would say that if you study with us, you would be assigned to an advisor of studies. And if you have a conversation with your advisor of studies about possibilities for teaching, communicating, becoming involved, then they would probably work with you to see what might be possible.
Thank you. Questions are okay. Thank you very much for presentation and the answers. I think your presentation and all information was very useful for all of us. And if you say something, for example, maybe another subject or maybe another thing, also we can leisurely listen to you. Then I will say a small thing in Turkish, all of our students. Then we will make the final speaking and say bye-bye together, okay?
So yeah, thanks a lot for helping us.
Okay, can I make my small Turkish speaking?
Yeah. So
Thank
yeah,
you.
go ahead, please.
Thank you. University of Dundee üniversitemizle ki zaten bütün katılımcılarımız üniversitemizin dünya genelindeki sıralamalarına bakıldığı zaman saygınlığı konusunda ki bilgi sahibi olduğunuzu hani düşünüyoruz. Dolayısıyla bugün bilhassa biyolojik bilimler eğitimi ve yaşama dair bilgilendirmeyle beraber aktarılan sorularla da genel bir bilgi aktarımı yapılmış oldu. Temenni ediyoruz ki aktarılan bütün bilgiler sizler için çok faydalı olmuştur ve bütün soru işaretlerini cevaplayabilmişizdir. Haricen sorularınız olursa SIUK olarak bizler iletişime geçtiğiniz zaman ben ve bütün arkadaşlarım akademik eğitim planlamalarınızda gerek University of Dundee gerekse Birleşik Krallık genelinde bütün üniversitelerimiz için üniversite, yüksek lisans ya da doktora eğitim planlamanız için bizim tarafımızdan verilmesi gereken bütün destekleri memnuniyetle veriyor. Bu yolculukta sizlere memnuniyetle yol arkadaşı olacağız. Hepinize katılımınız için çok teşekkür ediyoruz. Sorularınız, istekleriniz ve planlamanızda temsilcilik desteğiniz için lütfen bizimle iletişime geçin. Thank you, Mr. Stefan. Thank you, Nick.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And thank you very much again for your presentation. And hope to see you in Turkey.
That'd be great. Thank you so much. Take care.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Take care of yourself. Bye bye.